Good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. So I've been having a really slow morning, honestly. I have just been relaxing and listening to my audiobook for the past couple of hours that I have been up. I would have liked to go outside, but the winds have finally shifted, and unfortunately it is so smoky because of the wildfires. Like, we have dodged the smoke that's been happening for the past couple of weeks, when I'm filming this at least. For the past little bit we haven't really had anything, but today it is actually so smoky out and it like smells. So I think even when I take the dogs out, I'm probably going to wear a mask because it's just really gross. But I have just been taking it easy and listening to what I needed today, because that's what I like to do on Sundays. I really take Sundays to get myself ready for the rest of the week, get myself prepared. I love a good Sunday reset, and that kind of looks different depending on what the week is, or like how the past week went, or how the next week is going to go. But I am feeling like today I'm going to do a little bit of a mix of kind of like caring for myself and getting in touch with those things, and also doing a little bit of tidying, because yesterday I filmed my first video in this series, and that was really a physical space reset. But because I did so much of that yesterday, today I think I'm kind of going to focus more on feeling good within myself. So something that I've been trying recently is meditation. And obviously I have one queued up on the TV right now, but I have never been the person to meditate. I have started off with 5 minutes, and I think this one it's about a 10-minute one. So I'm slowly working my way up there, but I'm still not great at it because I find it so hard for my brain to focus on one thing at a time. I find that is the hardest thing, but I'm continuing to practice to hopefully get there. So I was just kind of sitting there listening to my audiobook, and I was like, I feel like I want to do a meditation right now. So that's what I'm going to do to start my day. I'm doing a motivation meditation, not because I want to get a lot done today, but because I would like to be prepared for like the rest of the week and everything that I am having to do. So that just kind of felt like what I was needing, what was speaking to me in that moment. So that's what I'm going for. But it's just so lovely to have a nice slow morning. So happy Sunday. I love Sundays. They are like my favorite days of the week, honestly.
Into our seat, finding a posture that is comfortable for you, and allowing the spine to be nice and
That was honestly such a great way to start the day. My mom's FaceTiming me, actually. But I will call her after I finish this. But it just totally like brought me to my thoughts. That's one of the most successful meditations I've had so far, actually, because I felt like I was really able to stay on my thoughts and stay present with what I was wanting to kind of connect with. I have been doing the ones on Apple Fitness, but this one I kind of liked a little bit more. Maybe I just haven't found the right ones on Apple Fitness because I've only done the 5-minute ones, but I just feel really relaxed and at peace and ready to go. I do kind of have the shakes pretty bad this morning. I don't know why, but that just kind of happens sometimes. I haven't finished my coffee. I've only drank a little bit because obviously that could be a contributing factor. And I have already eaten. I had 2 of the muffins that I made in the last installment of this series, but maybe, I don't know what's happening. But I was just able to I felt my mind drifting to all the things that I was wanting to get done today and kind of my to-do list for the week. And I was able to bring myself back and really focus on the visualization of what the practice was. And it just felt very nice. That was lovely. So I feel like I'm ready to go for the day. But before I actually get started on things for the day, I am going to call my mom back, but I want to kind of take a look at my to-do list. I usually try and look at my to-do list before the end of the previous day, but I didn't do that. So I need to look at what I didn't get done yesterday and then what I want to get done today, so I can actually have a successful, good day. But I am feeling really good this morning. of the like best angles in my house, they don't have windows in the right spot. Like there's always a window behind me, but it is what it is. I also really shouldn't take baths because I get swimmer's ear like chronically from going under the water, but I just love to go under the water. It's such a struggle, and I tried to dry out my ear, but it's still kind of plugged. Annoying. It is my own fault, but hi everyone. It's been a little bit and it's actually the afternoon now. It's 2. I definitely have been having a slow day. I made like a to-do list for myself for the day, but I am definitely not going to get to everything. It's kind of bigger than I should have made it. So one of the things on that to-do list is actually to plan out the rest of the week. So I think I'm going to take a look at it and like kind of redistribute tasks because I've had a very social day. I FaceTimed with my parents this morning, and then I FaceTimed with my sister for a little bit, and I hadn't talked to her in a while, so that was really nice. But Sundays are my me time. They are my me days. And having a day like that has made such a difference for me. Like respecting my time and the fact that I don't always have to be productive. I don't always have to be doing things. The world isn't going to implode if I'm not productive for like one day or for an hour even. Everything is going to be fine. Like I can just sit here and not do anything, and that is fine. That has been something that it's taken me a while to get to realize because while I've been like really depressed and anxious, that kind of comes out in a way of like one of 2 ways. One of them is that I won't do anything and I just want to sit there and be a slug. But then the other way is that I will just work myself to death because I don't really see myself as like a human who needs caring for. I just am kind of doing things to do them because I feel like if I'm not doing anything, then I'm being a slug. Does that make sense? It's kind of a fine balance, but I've realized that to kind of keep myself out of that and to keep myself out of that burnout, because I definitely have a tendency in that way to burn myself out. I really need to have these days that I'm respecting and these work hours that I am really respecting. And that has just made a huge difference for me. So I was actually pretty productive this morning. Like, while I was talking to my family, I was doing some other things. I was like planning my day. I folded the laundry, which I've been like needing to do for so long. This is probably a month's worth of laundry and it's finally folded. It's not put away yet, but it's folded, which is a big step. And it's not sitting in the basement because the basement is like my secret shame. That and the guest room, they're awful. So now that it's up here, that feels really good. I planned my menu for the week. So I always like to sit down and have a little menu planned and then like make a grocery list. I'm probably gonna go for groceries tomorrow because I'm not really feeling like it today, but I have planned my menu, need to make the grocery list still, but we are getting there. And then I kind of feel a headache coming on, so I decided to have a little self-care bath, and that was lovely. I did like my body scrub. I'm all moisturized now, so I think I'm gonna sit down on the couch for a little bit on a blanket to let this absorb because I just feel all slippy on this table, and it is not a nice feeling. It's like sensory overload for me right now. But I did like a hair mask. I did all of that stuff and I just feel really clean and ready for a new week. So taking it slow some days and like just kind of getting done the bare minimum, that's self-care, honestly. I did this earlier and I didn't show you guys, but I wanted to talk about it now. But something that I've started doing a lot that I've talked about is journaling, and reflection is a huge part of that. So I have set up like a weekly template for myself for weekly reflection that I'm going to try and do every time that I possibly can. I mean, some weekends I'm not going to feel the best and I'm probably not going to want to do it, but
I'm going to make it a goal of mine to continue with it. I will show you this because I guess like there's not really anything in here that is private necessarily, but I have kind of divided it into like really simplistic things. But basically the idea is to look back at the week and see how I can like find learnings, I guess, for the following week, and then look back and like realize how much I accomplished this past week. And I think this will be especially helpful for weeks where I'm not feeling the most productive, that I will realize I did actually do a lot. So I have what went well this week, and then I put like a list of the major things that I actually was able to do. And then I have a section about what can I improve upon this week, where I can kind of talk about what I want to look forward to next week, my highlights of the week, which are really like if I have any events or anything like that, anything that made me feel good, I kind of want to put it in that section. And then what did I do this week? This is kind of like breaking it down into 3 main categories that I've been focusing on. So something for myself, something for work, and something for my health. So it might seem similar to the like what went well this week I was able to, but this isn't like specific thing. It's kind of like breaking it down into key categories. It might be redundant, but for me, it's what works. And then below that, I have my goals for the next week. And I actually have this like block is synced with a couple other pages in my Notion. So I can just have it like at the forefront and see it all the time. But I like to choose 3 main things to focus on every week. And that has really helped me to have something to look forward to and work toward every week. And then below that, I have just like a view of my habit tracker. So yeah, that's just kind of been really helpful for me to have this space to reflect on things. And then I also, basically the way that I've been using Notion, which I've super gotten into this past year, is that I want it to be a space to take the thought out of everything and kind of automate everything. So I've realized from a lot of reading about like ADHD and stuff like that, that it's the path of least resistance that I'm going to choose. And something like this that's available on my phone, that's available on all of my devices that I can access there, it is the path of least resistance. So it's something that I am actually able to keep up with and use, which I used to be a big like physical planner person, but I've moved from that to being more of a digital planner. And part of that is like digital wellness sort of things in my Notion. But as I was saying, I have a separate like section for routines and resets that I can always go back to whenever I'm feeling not the best. And I just need to, even on just like a regular day, I mark off all the tasks for my morning and night routine. So then I can make sure that I'm getting everything done, because otherwise I'll probably forget things and that's not ideal. But here I also have a weekly and a monthly reset section. And I have once again divided this into sections. So we have like things that I want to do for myself every week, things that I want to do for the house, and little extra things. Now, it might seem like a lot, but they are things that I don't plan on just doing on Sunday. These are things that I do throughout the week, and I will kind of mark them off as the week goes on, so then it's not so overwhelming. But I have highlighted the things for me that are like the most important non-negotiable things. Those are the things that I know I have to do in order to have a successful following week. I forget what someone said, but I think in one of the Sunday reset videos that I was watching, there was a quote that was like, a Sunday well spent makes a week of great content. I always want to say content, but content. Can you tell I'm a YouTuber? But I've really taken that philosophy and like put it into this, where I'm like, there are certain bare minimum things that I want to challenge myself to be doing every single week, so that I know I can feel great the next week. And it's not always going to happen. It doesn't always happen. But if I at least have those bare minimum goals, when I feel like crap, I can try and actually do them. Like, because I know, okay, I don't have to do all of this. I can do some of it and I will feel okay. And even like a lot of the house tasks, I might be like, I don't really need to do that this week, and that's fine. It's not something where I'm going to stress out that like not every single thing on this list is checked off. It's just certain things that I would like to see. Do I need to do that? No. And then go from there. Like, don't think about it too deeply. I'm not challenging myself too much. This is honestly like systems that I have found that work for me. They might not work for you, but they have been making a major difference for me. Have had to do more on this Sunday than I generally would like to do on a Sunday. Usually I like to save my Sundays for really like the self-care aspect of my like weekly routine and do the rest of the cleaning and stuff throughout the week. But that just didn't happen this week. So it is going to be kind of a like smaller reset than I would have liked, but I have a headache right now, so I'm not really feeling like getting into things, and I just don't really feel motivated. Like I kind of just want to sit and read my book. So I'm currently listening to the audiobook for 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, and I just wanted to finish this one like before the end of the month because it is June. I have been listening to it quite a bit today and enjoying it, but I am going to take a break from my cleaning to just kind of sit and fool around on social media right now because that's just kind of what I'm feeling. Like Pinterest, I have just been spending all of my time there recently. So I want to make dinner later, and I feel like I did like a good amount of stuff. The only other thing that is on my to-do list that I for sure want to get done today is my weekly planning, because without that, I'm just going to be lost for next week. So I want to make sure that I get that done before the end of the day, but I have time to do that. That's like a really mindful task that I do generally enjoy. So as long as I don't like put it off too long, I should be able to do it. I had hoped to film some TikToks today, but I don't think that's going to end up happening. And like, that's okay. I'm just kind of, I have my to-do list. I'm going with the flow, seeing what I feel like. And that, once again, is self-care. It's important to have days like that where I'm not fully like using my to-do list like a Bible, and I am listening to what I'm needing. And what I was needing was to get my bathroom tidy, keep the main floor tidy and clean up some little things in the kitchen, and to get my bedroom tidy as well. And it is like, there's still things that I want to do to deep clean, but that's going to be in a later video. So I do still feel like really good about the amount of things that I ended up accomplishing. It's not everything, but that's totally fine. I need to accept that I can't always do everything, and I'm working on it and working on like appreciating what I did do instead of focusing on what I didn't do. It's important to change that mindset. I have all this laundry to put away, but I want to make dinner. And since I'm kind of running out of steam and energy, I'm going to take this break now so then I can actually make dinner, maybe do some meal prepping for the rest of the week, and then put away the laundry. I should be able to get that done. I hope. I really hope. Feeling super hungry, to be honest, but I find that when that happens and like I don't eat like until I am hungry, by the time I am hungry, I am like starving, and I end up just, I don't want to say making bad decisions, but like it is kind of making bad decisions because 9 times out of 10, I will just order something and I don't need to do that. Like I have food in the fridge, I have things that I can make, and it's like partially the health thing, but more than anything, it's like needlessly spending money that I just don't need to. And I need to get out of that habit. And like it also comes down to self-care, which is making sure that I am making those good decisions and being accountable for that, and also like fueling myself with things that make me feel good, because I definitely notice a difference when I'm not. So I do have a bowl here that I will probably just kind of like pick away at slowly since I'm not feeling very hungry, but it is just this tzatziki bowl and it seemed really good. So hopefully it's good. So it's 8 o'clock and I'm calling it a day. It's actually technically 8:24, so I was close, but I try to be done my day and like my to-do list by 8 o'clock, especially like kind of every night, but especially on Sundays. I want to make sure that I have enough time to wind down and get myself ready for the week ahead. Part of my problem used to be that I would just like give myself way too much to do on a day, so then I would just be inevitably disappointed. This is the CeraVe hydrating cleanser, by the way, but I was just kind of setting myself up for failure every day, and that's been something that I've really been working on, is making sure that I'm setting myself up for success. So when I was planning my week just now, I realized, holy crap, I have like so much to do on the front end of the week. So I kind of like took a step back and I was like, okay, reasonably, I'm not going to be able to get all of these things done, especially tomorrow. I have like a million things. So I was like, I need to kind of prioritize and decide what's actually important and go from there and kind of make cuts from there. That's definitely not like an easy thing to do, but I know it was necessary. This is the hyaluronic acid from The Ordinary. I know that I should put it in my hand instead of putting the dropper in my face, but honestly, I don't really care that much. So once I went back and like reassessed and then time mapped my week and everything, I felt a lot better about things. And I feel like I am going forward with a plan that I can actually be successful with, because that's ultimately like the bottom line. I don't want to be giving myself a plan where there's just no possible way that I can do everything. I want to be like actually setting myself up to have a good day and feel good about myself, and checking things off of my to-do list. That makes me feel good about myself, but constantly having things that I'm not able to actually get done, even when I have a productive day and stay on task, that doesn't make me feel good. That makes me feel like a failure. This is a CeraVe eye repair cream. So kind of realizing that and realizing that that was a major contributing thing to making me feel just like crap, it was very eye-opening, and then made me make like changes to realizing this is how much I can actually get done in a day. This is the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Cream. And that includes like self-care things. I want to make sure that I'm not neglecting things like my nighttime routine and everything, because I'm able to not pretty easily, but I'm able to usually get myself to do my morning routine eventually. The nighttime routine that I'm doing right now is the one that I struggle with the most. A lot of that comes from like not really having those defined working hours, if you will, and just working until basically I couldn't anymore, and I was exhausted and I was just ready to go to bed, so I couldn't do anything for myself. But I'm making sure to have those more defined hours, so then I can take time at the end of the day to, one, do things that I enjoy, that I like, and to have free time, and two, do something for myself that I know will make me feel better, such as like a nighttime routine, wash my face, whatever. I wanted to use my little Paula's Choice mask tonight, but I can't find it anywhere. where did it go? I'm just going to use this Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Hyaluronic Clay Pore Tight Facial. I've never used this before. This obviously isn't like an everyday step, but it is something that makes me feel really good. And since it's a Sunday, I try to make sure that I do it every Sunday. And if during the week I'm not feeling the best, then I will put on a little face mask and have that little time for myself to feel better. So I'm gonna wash this off now. It did kind of dry, so I guess it is a face mask. It's not fully dry, but whatever. So I'm trying not to touch my skin so much to get it all dirty, but my skin does feel really nice and soft. So I am going to kind of like try and lock or seal that in with a sleeping mask. And I have quite a few sleeping masks. So I think I'm actually going to go with this one because it has like a hydrating element to it. And I feel like that is really just going to lock everything in. This one has like a really interesting texture where it's kind of spongy, but I'm actually going to use a little spatula to apply it because my nails, they're way too long and they are just, everything gets stuck under them. A couple last things that I'm going to do. I have a lash serum that I am going to put on, and then I'm going to just put this caffeine stimulating scalp treatment from the Inky List in my hair for overnight. I'm now in bed and ready to relax and turn off for the rest of the night. But I wanted to take a second and kind of talk about why do I do this? Like, why do I try and have this Sunday reset? And the bottom line is that having a day that is like dedicated to myself has made me really come into connection with myself, I guess, and prioritize myself. But once again, and I will keep on saying this, it took a while, a long time for me to get here and for me to even care enough to be able to do something like this. But now that I am here, I want to try and continue with it. The ideal scenario is that obviously, like throughout the week, I'll have been picking away at my little weekly routine list, my weekly reset list, so I won't have a ton of stuff to do. But this week didn't end up being the ideal scenario, actually. I had quite a bit to do, so much so that I didn't get it done. But in that case, I prioritized what was the most important for me to feel good going into Monday. And it is kind of going to be different every week, right? Like every week is going to look different, but it's just about kind of taking that time. And Sundays are just for self-care. That is the bottom line of what it is for me. So I have my water here. I'm going to stay hydrated. I'm going to set my alarm and aim to get a solid 8 hours of sleep, which fingers crossed, because I am trying to work on that schedule. I'm trying to fix my sleeping schedule, but I have a really hard time falling asleep no matter how early I get up. And I'm just going to sit here for the rest of the night and listen to my audiobook, which, as I mentioned, I'm listening to 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, and I am liking it. It's reminding me a little bit of The Neighbor Favor, which I read earlier, just because it's about like authors. But in this case, it's really interesting because I knew this was a romance going into it and that it was really hyped up, but it was kind of more of an intense romance, like more emotional. So other than that, I didn't know anything, but it's about two authors who spent this week together, like when they were younger, and they haven't seen each other since then. This whole thing happened. I'm not sure what yet. It is kind of a looming thing, but they both are published authors now, and they both are basically writing main characters that are like each other, based on each other. And I just love that. So obviously, like, they've come together again and there's tension. It's going to be really interesting. It definitely is like a deeper romance, but that's the kind of thing that I love. So I'm going to listen to that audiobook and scroll on Pinterest doing nothing, because that is what Sundays are for. So that's actually going to be all for this second episode in the sort of life reset, ultimate reset series. This one was a bit more relaxed, but I hope that you guys enjoyed it. This whole series is going to be a little bit of everything. And as I was filming today, I just kind of wanted to share why I do this reset and what it might look like for me. So then maybe you might get some inspiration for a little reset of your own. And routine is what helps me the most. So having something like this that I can look back on, and really a day that I can look forward to, that helps me a lot. So Archer is ready for bed here. Charlie's ready for bed back there. Spud is ready for bed wherever she is. I think she's downstairs on the couch. And I am ready for bed, or at least to relax. I'm going to try and fall asleep for 10. So we'll see if I can do that. But thank you once again so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in another one very soon. Bye.